You see the name I gave the video. I was sort of prompted to do this video. I sure was. I've talked about this before. Most of the time when somebody talks about stuff, it travels in one ear and out the other. Or their memory span people's memory span is so short because of the fluoride, chemtrails, and the GMOs and the foods. I don't know. Okay? And so they just don't maintain or remember. Okay? They have trouble with memory. Not all people. But you see in the name of the video, should anybody join the military? Should really anyone join the military? What does the military stand for? Is it for protection? Is the military really for protection? No, not really. I'll tell you why. Because if we had grown up as a society, you wouldn't need a military for protection. The only reason anybody needs a military is because they failed to grow up. Now let me explain why I'm saying this. Because see, children fight over toys. Children fight over games. Adults are no better than children because the children, they want that toy, or they want that game, or they want to be number one, the winner, and they're a bad sport. But it's because they have a want. Adults fight over what? The same thing, wants. Though none of us can always have our wants. None of us ever have all of our wants. Nobody does. It's not possible. Learning to handle not having your want and to be able to move on your life, that's growing up. That's an adult. But not be able to handle having your own want and acting like a child over it, because you can tell the children to grow up, get over it. Meanwhile, you never grew up and got over it. Now I know people are going to say, well, but we need them. But what do you need them for? Honestly, it's like a person says to me, well, they knew when they joined the military they were going to be going to fight. Fight for who? Fight for who? Fight to give a handful of people more power and more greed for their own selfish selves? Let's see. Get your arms and your legs blowing off so some politician, some banker can have more power, more money. There is no need for a military. If we're in a society that supposedly has advanced itself, where is that advancement? I don't see it. I fail to see any advancements. You say, oh, but we got more technology. So? And you got stupider along the way, too. See, we actually don't need a military. Nobody does. What's the military responsible for? Killing innocent people. For a handful of people's selfish greed. Because they're like the children. They're fighting over the toy. That's right. Fighting over their want. They want their want. Having a fit temper tantrum. They're like little children. And these little children are going out and using the children military to get their want, rather than growing up and handling the fact that you don't always get your want, rather than compromise and work together like adults. Nobody said you had to go home with them. Nobody said you had to be their friend. But if you can't do business and work next to somebody that you don't agree with, then you're the one that failed to grow up. Because nobody always agrees upon anything. Nobody always gets their want. Nobody always agrees. It's not possible. What's wrong with working for the same cause and putting your differences to the side? See? And allowing somebody to have their own feelings and beliefs without opening big mouth and calling names and mocking. See, what happened to that? Well, that's right. That went out the door like your ability to grow up did. It don't exist anymore. Because you failed. This is it. You failed. What do you think has said mankind's epic failure since the beginning of time has been their ability to grow up? Because that's exactly what it's been. Greed and power. Everybody wants more. Nobody cares about nobody else. Military has done nothing but kill innocent people for no reason other than a handful of people who have selfish gains, selfish wants, like the little child that's fighting for a toy. Mine, 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 mine. That's right. Gimme, gimme. Just like little kids. See, so there's really no difference between the 2 and 3-year-old tamper that I gain or want, than the 20-year-old going into the military, the 40-year-old colonel, 50-year-old colonel, or sergeant, or whatever, corporal. Don't matter what branch of the military whatsoever. It's no different. They have the same mentality at that age as that 2 and 3-year-old has. Their mentality is not changed any. They think they're growing up because their TV set totems. The commercials and their advertisements and logos told them, grow up, be a man, join the military. So you're going to grow up, be a loser, lose your life, or kill other people that's done nothing to you. You call that growing up? That's not growing up. That's failing to grow up. You're going to say, well, but, you're going to give me all your reasons, right? You mean all your cop-outs for why we failed to get along? I don't care what country there is, and I don't care what cult they are, or, what culture they have is what I mean to say. What their belief is. That is their prerogative. That they have that right. It's the same as you have the right to your belief, your culture. You don't have a right to tell them that their culture is wrong or their belief is wrong. They don't have a right to tell you the same in return. But once again, it goes back to the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old. Was having temperature because they didn't get what they want. But the difference is the 2 and 3-year-old, they actually have a legit reason to act this way because they're only 2 years old. They're only 3 years old. Where the adult that acts this way, he or she really don't have that same reason. So what do? They reach all the way up their anal and they try to pull cop-outs out to cover their sorry ass up or to try to make themselves look good. But there is no looking good. There's no such thing as looking good because you can't look good. It's impossible. Because, see, you're not 2 or 3 no more. You're not the little kid no more. So fighting over your want has gotten you where? And the sick thing about the military is you're not even fighting over your want. You're putting your life on the line and getting your arms blown off, your legs blown off. Lots of people coming home in body bags. Some coming home missing a leg for life, missing an arm for life, missing an eye for life, or death in both ears because they were too close to where an explosion was at and it ruptured or whatever did their eardrums or damage to them. So you come home with all these disabilities that you didn't leave with, so that a handful of people, a handful, can have it all for themselves. So you went and fought and killed innocent people for some sick Joe that wants to take what don't belong to him. So you helped him steal it. And you said it all in the name of being a man and joining the military. The bad news for you is you're not a man. You're not a woman. You're not an adult. I don't care what branch of the military you join. A military is not needed. No, military is not needed. But, as one again I'll say, everybody thinks they have to have a military for their protection. Then what do you need protected from? Your own ignorance, your dumbness, your stupidity. Because you don't need a military. Nobody ever has. But this is where we stand, isn't it? So I thought I'd throw that in your face and understand what I said is totally true. So ask yourself, why do we need a military? What is the military's job? What is their main function? If we had a military that was only on standby if a hurricane happened, tornado went through, something tragic like that, a volcano goes off, the military goes into the area that was affected by it and helps the citizens pick the mess up and rebuild their buildings, brings the community back on its feet. Well, that'd be a good thing. Yeah, we could have military for that. But to protect us? You mean to protect ourselves from our irresponsibility? You mean our irresponsible behavior? So we need somebody to protect us from being a bumbling idiot? Because that's what it all really comes down to. Doesn't matter how you shake it, how you look at it, how you twist it. Militaries have never been needed. The only thing militaries do is accomplish one thing. They give a handful of people more power and more greed, more materialistic items and more power for themselves. And it helps to strip you of any rights that you ever thought you had. So what do we need a military for? Really?